Welcome back to Currents of History. Today, we open a secret archive from the Cold War. This is the dark history of Project MKUltra, a classified CIA operation that attempted to unlock one of the most dangerous powers ever imagined: the ability to control the human mind. For decades, government officials denied its existence. Documents disappeared. Witnesses remained silent. And countless victims never knew they had been part of a secret experiment. What really happened inside the CIA's mind control program? And how far did they go in their search for the perfect method of psychological manipulation? Tonight, we uncover the hidden history of MKUltra. The story begins in the early years of the Cold War. The world had emerged from World War II, but peace was only temporary. A new conflict had begun. The United States and the Soviet Union were locked in a struggle that extended far beyond military power. It was a battle of intelligence, ideology, and secrecy. During the Korean War, reports emerged that captured American prisoners had confessed to crimes and expressed support for communist governments. Many intelligence officials became convinced that America's enemies had discovered a terrifying new weapon: mind control. Rumors spread through intelligence agencies. Could a government force people to betray their country? Could memories be erased? Could human beings be programmed like machines? These questions frightened officials in Washington. If foreign powers had discovered such techniques first, the United States feared it might lose the Cold War without firing a single shot. The CIA decided it needed answers, no matter the cost. In 1953, CIA Director Allen Dulles approved a highly classified research program. Its name was Project MKUltra. The operation was placed under the supervision of Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist with a reputation for unconventional thinking. Gottlieb believed science could unlock hidden areas of the human mind. His mission was simple in theory: find a way to control human behavior. But achieving that goal would require crossing ethical boundaries that most scientists would never consider. The project quickly expanded. Universities received secret funding. Hospitals participated in classified studies. Research institutions conducted experiments without revealing their connection to the CIA. Many participants never knew who was paying for the research. Others never knew they were part of an experiment at all. Behind the scenes, MKUltra grew into one of the largest secret programs in CIA history. Among all the substances tested, one attracted particular attention: LSD. At the time, the drug was still relatively unknown. Researchers believed it could fundamentally alter perception, memory, and behavior. To CIA officials, LSD appeared to be a potential breakthrough. If the chemical could disrupt normal thought processes, perhaps it could be used during interrogations. Perhaps it could force confessions. Perhaps it could even create obedient agents. The agency began conducting extensive tests. Some volunteers knowingly took the drug. Others did not. In several experiments, individuals were secretly given LSD without their consent. Many experienced severe psychological distress. Some suffered panic attacks. Others reported terrifying hallucinations. Yet the testing continued. The possibility of discovering a method of mind control seemed too important for the agency to abandon. One of the strangest chapters in MKUltra became known as Operation Midnight Climax. The CIA established secret apartments in major cities. These locations were transformed into observation sites. Sex workers were recruited to lure unsuspecting men into the apartments. Once inside, the visitors were secretly drugged with LSD. Hidden cameras recorded their reactions. CIA personnel observed from behind one-way mirrors. The scenes often resembled something from a spy novel. But they were real. The agency hoped to understand how drugs affected behavior, decision-making, and vulnerability. The men involved rarely knew they had become experimental subjects. Their participation was neither voluntary nor informed. For years, these operations remained hidden from public view. Only decades later would the details emerge. MKUltra extended far beyond secret apartments. Hospitals and universities became critical parts of the research network. Some psychiatrists received CIA funding to explore radical methods of behavioral modification. Patients undergoing treatment often had no idea they were participating in classified research. One of the most controversial figures connected to these experiments was Dr. Ewan Cameron. Working in Canada, Cameron developed techniques intended to break down existing personality structures. Patients were exposed to prolonged drug treatments. Some underwent extended periods of induced sleep. Others listened to repeated audio messages for hundreds of hours. The goal was to erase established patterns of thought and replace them with new ones. Many patients entered treatment seeking help for relatively minor psychological issues. Some left with severe memory loss and long-term trauma. Years later, survivors would describe their experiences as devastating. As the program expanded, the human consequences became increasingly difficult to ignore. Many subjects never provided informed consent. Some were prisoners. Some were psychiatric patients. Others were ordinary citizens who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. For those affected, the consequences could be life-changing. Psychological damage, memory disruption, emotional trauma, broken relationships, lost years. The most famous case involved Frank Olson, a government scientist. In 1953, Olson was unknowingly given LSD during a CIA meeting. Days later, he fell from a hotel window in New York City and died. For years, the circumstances surrounding his death remained controversial. Questions persisted about what truly happened during those final days. The Olson case would eventually become one of the most disturbing symbols of MKUltra's secrecy. As the years passed, doubts about MKUltra's effectiveness grew. Despite enormous investments, researchers failed to achieve the ultimate objective. No reliable method of mind control emerged. There was no magical formula capable of turning people into programmable agents. The results were inconsistent. The science remained uncertain. Yet the secrecy continued. By the early 1970s, political pressure was increasing. Government agencies faced growing scrutiny. Investigators began asking difficult questions about intelligence operations conducted during the Cold War. In response, many MKUltra records were destroyed. Thousands of documents disappeared. Evidence that might have revealed the full scope of the project vanished forever. The destruction of these records would complicate future investigations and leave many questions unanswered. Everything changed in the mid-1970s. A series of investigations into intelligence activities began exposing secret government programs. One of the most important inquiries was conducted by the Church Committee in the United States Senate. Investigators uncovered evidence that the CIA had conducted experiments on unwitting citizens. The revelations shocked the public. Newspaper headlines described secret drug testing programs. Congressional hearings examined intelligence abuses. Former officials were forced to answer uncomfortable questions. Americans discovered that some of the most controversial experiments had been carried out not by foreign governments, but by their own. Trust in government institutions suffered a major blow. MKUltra became a symbol of Cold War paranoia and unchecked secrecy. Although many records had been destroyed, investigators managed to recover thousands of financial and administrative documents. These files revealed a vast network of secret research projects. More than 100 sub-projects had operated under the MKUltra umbrella. Researchers studied hypnosis, behavioral conditioning, drug interactions, psychological stress, memory manipulation, sensory deprivation. The scope of the operation surprised even experienced investigators. What had once appeared to be a small research effort was actually a massive, decades-long program involving institutions across North America. Yet many details remain unknown even today. Some records were never recovered. Some participants never came forward. And some questions may never be answered. Project MKUltra officially ended decades ago. But its legacy continues to influence discussions about government power, ethics, and human rights. The program demonstrated how fear can drive institutions toward extreme actions. During the Cold War, officials believed they faced an existential threat. In that atmosphere, ethical safeguards were often treated as obstacles rather than necessities. MKUltra serves as a warning. Scientific research without accountability can become dangerous. Government secrecy without oversight can lead to abuse. And the pursuit of power can sometimes overshadow respect for human dignity. The victims of these experiments remind us that history is not only about governments and intelligence agencies. It is also about ordinary people whose lives were changed by decisions made behind closed doors. Today, Project MKUltra remains one of the most infamous intelligence operations ever revealed. It combined Cold War fear, scientific ambition, and extraordinary secrecy. Its architects believed they were protecting national security. But the methods they employed left lasting scars. The dream of controlling the human mind ultimately failed. Yet the damage caused during that search remains part of history. And perhaps the most disturbing question is not whether mind control was possible. It is whether the pursuit of that possibility convinced intelligent people that almost anything could be justified. This has been the hidden history of Project MKUltra. A story buried in classified files. A warning preserved in forgotten archives. And one of the darkest chapters of the Cold War. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy historical investigations and secret archives from the darkest corners of history, be sure to subscribe for more documentaries exploring the mysteries governments tried to keep hidden.